The rest of the world goes to sleep, the room goes quiet, and suddenly you are entirely alone in the dark. That is exactly when the mental war begins. The moment you close your eyes, your brain starts pulling up the files. The mortgage payment, the email you sent to your boss, the argument you had 3 years ago. Your mind floods with every possible anxiety and runs them on an endless, exhausting loop. There is a physical intervention for this loop. It requires no medication, it costs nothing, and you can execute it in exactly 2 minutes before you go to sleep. You take a glass of water, you place it by your bed. You set a specific, deliberate intention for that water to absorb your mental exhaustion, and in the morning, you physically dump it down the drain. At first glance, this looks like a childhood superstition, the kind of folk myth that sounds too simple to have any real impact on a complicated life. But if we strip away the mysticism, we find a structured method to change the state of your nervous system. This is a practical way to manually reset your stress response before it ruins your recovery. Historically, human civilizations have used water as a physical boundary between dirty and clean. We use it to wash our bodies, and in nearly every cultural tradition, it serves as a tool for a definitive reset. In the late 1990s, Dr. Masaru Emoto conducted experiments suggesting water physically responds to emotional vibrations. He noted that water exposed to words like gratitude formed symmetrical, diamond-like crystals, while water exposed to stress or anger formed fractured, asymmetrical shapes. The utility of this ritual comes from how it directs your focus. The water provides a tangible, physical container for abstract fears that would otherwise stay trapped in your head. This diagram illustrates the hierarchy of your decision-making. The small portion above the water represents your conscious mind, about 5% of your cognitive function. That massive block of ice hidden below the surface is your subconscious mind. It is the engine that dictates 95% of your habits, your reactions, and your baseline anxiety. This hidden engine is hyper-receptive during the transition from waking to sleeping. As your brainwaves slow down, whatever emotional state you are holding drops directly into your subconscious programming. Going to bed in a state of panic effectively schedules anxiety as the primary task for your brain to process over the next 8 hours. You wake up exhausted because your mind has spent the entire night rehearsing your problems. To stop that process, you need a physical protocol. You use a glass cup, not plastic. You fill it with fresh water, and you cover it with a lid or a cloth to symbolically seal the vessel. Then you give your brain a definitive instruction. Before closing your eyes, you deliberately project your current fears and your stress into that glass. You are making a conscious choice to put the mental baggage down. This creates a pattern interrupt. Your brain is caught in a closed loop of negative forecasting, and you are using a tactile, physical object to sever that loop. When you wake up and physically pour that water down the sink, you create a psychological anchor. Your brain registers the physical act of dumping the water as the completion of a cycle. You have physically moved the stress away from your person. This routine works by aligning 3 variables: the thought that you want to change, the emotional feeling of relief, and the physical action of pouring the water. The water acts as the medium for this daily, deliberate intervention. By repeating this action, you use your brain's natural neuroplasticity to gradually wire a calmer baseline into your daily life. It takes about 21 days for your subconscious to accept this new baseline. After 3 weeks of this daily hygiene, your internal state begins to alter how you perceive your external reality. People often describe this as spotting the invisible. When the fog of chronic anxiety clears, your brain's frontal lobe can finally process complex information, revealing opportunities or solutions that were always there but were hidden by your stress response. This shift has direct physical consequences. When you exit the midnight loop, your body's fight-or-flight response finally powers down. This reduces the systemic inflammation and cortisol spikes that drive many chronic lifestyle diseases, allowing your body to move from a state of defense to a state of repair. This cognitive clarity is also the bridge to professional success. A mind freed from survival-level panic can identify career growth or solve financial bottlenecks that a stressed brain would simply overlook while it's busy scanning for threats. Choosing to perform this routine is a commitment to your own mental stability. You are setting aside 2 minutes to decide how your day will end, rather than letting your anxieties decide for you. You have nothing to lose by testing the mechanism. Tonight, fill a glass of water, leave your baggage inside it, then wake up tomorrow, pour it away, and see what happens when you start with a clear mind.